Hey Libra, welcome. I am Shell, also a Libra of Seacrest Bloom Limited, and I am going to be doing your tarot spread for balance today. Woohoo! Libras love the balance, so rock it. So this is actually going to be for about the next 30 days or so about halfway through March and halfway through April. And I am going to be reading from the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. This is a new to me deck, and so I do use the book still. Apologies, but I like to be accurate and make sure that I've covered all the bases. And then I also have some oracle cards for us, and I say us because I'm a Libra too. And so we've got some myths. This is the Myths and Mermaids, and these two actually jumped out together, so I took them both. And then I've got a how to proceed on our course for the next 30 days. And then I've also got an angel message card for us. So let's get started. Our first card is Death and Rebirth, which seems to keep coming up this month for the air signs. And this is in the place of where am I not putting in enough energy? So apparently we need to let go of some more stuff, cut the ties, allow the rebirth. I know that with the new moon that we are actually in, I believe right now, it's rebirth time. And with the retrograde, it's ushering out the old, whether it's old relationships or old behaviors, patterns, things that need to be released are being released. Relationships are either being released or healed. A lot of changes are happening this month. And if you're anything like me, then you're probably feeling it too. So let's get started. Death and rebirth is endings, beginnings, cycles, transformation, transmutation, change, and growth. Let go of the past. The future is unknowable. Change is unavoidable. There is no going back. Allow yourself to mourn. Death and rebirth is a gradual process. Shed your skin. The dark night of the soul. Allow innocence to be reborn. Focus on the short-term future, a change in beliefs, attitude, or behavior. Now, I know with me, I like to try and plan and think ahead, and apparently this is telling me, and I don't know if it applies to you too, but if you're a Libra, then it might. Obviously we need to focus on short-term future instead of looking too far in the future. So maybe that's part of what's causing some of the extra stress. With the retrograde is looking too far ahead and trying to plan ahead for the next 5 months or 3 months or whatnot. So we need to allow the innocence to be reborn and release all that stagnant stuff or the old stuff that no longer serves us. And when I was looking at the other cards, it was basically talking about how, we need to let ourselves heal and feel some of the emotions that we've been basically suppressing because of what's happening during this retrograde and all the changes that are taking place. So the rebirth, it says here, the rebirth can be problematic. It is not an instant process. Sometimes before we can soar, we must also learn how to fly all over again. Yes, our outlook can be positive, but the future is still unknown. Our beliefs have changed. Our perception and understanding of the world around us have changed. Our roles and purpose have changed. Our lives and state of mind and being are not as they were. We know that we are capable of what we are capable of, but we must learn and adapt to the changes that led to the little death in the first place. So we have to take time to reflect on some things, I think. I don't know how people in your life have been behaving, but I know that for me personally and a lot of my friends, we've been experiencing a lot of strangeness with some of our friends, in relationships are all being tested, and, some people are having to cut ties. And so obviously if we're going through that transformation, then we need time to relax and heal and absorb it and, take a break, allow the mourning to happen. Our next card, and that was where we're not putting in enough energy. So we're not allowing that mourning process that we need to allow. Now our next card is where we're putting in too much energy. And with the crone, I was reading on that. Basically, she is strong and powerful and she does what needs to be done. You know, she's handling things. And so I think if we're putting too much energy into handling things and getting the job done, we're not allowing for the rebirth to happen. So it's almost like we're resisting the change, resisting the process, and resisting letting things go. So obviously the crone, yeah, we're embracing our power, we're embracing our strength, but this isn't necessarily a time that we have to be so strong. So it's time for us to take a breath, take a breather, do some meditation. I know for me, for the last week, I've been pushing myself to do more and be more and get everything done. And so this is a reminder to take it easy on ourselves. You know, she's the woman who understands her true nature. It says, be aware of your choices, be unafraid to walk your path alone, a life of your own design, untapped power and potential, a fertile and productive future, a childless state, be unbowed and unapologetic. Excuse me. Respect and cherish your elders. A direct and forthright approach is needed. Do what's necessary, not what's expected. It is time to be fierce and fight back. So apparently we're fighting too much of the change, you know, or we're trying to help everybody else and not allowing ourselves to do that rebirth, to allow the process. You know, the crone is also very gentle and kind. She's loving, supportive, and nurturing. And, you know, every face she wears is her true face, but the face she wears will be the one that she feels is needed at the time. She is who she needs to be when she needs to be. So we're being strong for everybody through the retrograde. I know I have been. More than likely you are too, because that's in our nature. So I'm thinking, yeah, I'm feeling it. I just started feeling it right before I did this reading too, and I cleared my energy. I rang my tincture bowl, you know, I have a little ring for you too. So once I did this reading and saw the cards, I thought, well, crap, after this, I'm going to go relax and watch a movie. I'm going to go veg out. I worked really hard yesterday on helping a lot of people, and so I'm just like, you know, between the retrograde and overextending myself on helping others, and, you know, it's just, there's no reason not to relax if your body needs to rest. So now our last card is, what would life look like if we created some more balance? And we got emotions. So this is where I'm saying we're not feeling the emotions that we need to feel in order for the rebirth to happen. We're being too strong, too much of the crone. We need to chill out, allow ourselves to feel the emotions. Keywords: emotions, feelings, emotional honesty, positive emotions, negative emotions, acknowledgement, acceptance, expression. All emotions are necessary. How are your feelings influencing you? Use your feelings to evaluate a situation. Heed the message behind the feeling. Are you a negative or positive person? Do not prejudge or the present based on the past. Practice acknowledging your feelings. Fill your day with laughter. Step back and detach emotionally. Positive emotions open you to learning. Repressing emotions creates dis-ease. Address symptoms of emotional repression. So now, you know, one thing that comes up for me when I see this, because I did ask the angels, I called on Archangel Raphael, Gabriel, and Michael, and I asked them to assist. And I made it clear, like, hey, you know, I'm not the only Libra in the room. This is a general reading for all Libras out there. So I wanted to make sure that they, you know, weren't gearing this to me, but generally to all Libras who stumble upon this video. And so one of the things that came up when I was reviewing these before I started the video is I actually personally have been watching a lot of Teal Swan's videos for the past few months about how to heal the emotional body, how to reintegrate your emotions from the past, because basically with Libras being so strong all the time for everyone else, sometimes we end up taking on too much, and a lot of times, you know, we have that negative self-talk, those negative core beliefs that we may not even know are there, and in order for this rebirth to truly happen, so that we can feel our true emotions about things, it's important that we go back and review what's in the past that's creating our present. And so if you go into that video, and it's on YouTube, it's free, How to Heal the Emotional Body, Teal Swan, you'll learn how to go back into your past and go back to the times, the first time that something had happened that created those limiting beliefs or those core beliefs or the negative self-talk that, we sometimes tell ourselves, and it'll help you release that, and so that you can change your future. It will allow the rebirth to happen, and it's not just going to be a momentary thing. This is a lifelong thing that once we release it, it ripples through time and it heals all those other wounds that are associated with that emotion, and so the past will no longer repeat itself. So that came up for me when I was reviewing the cards that I needed to share with you in order to help us get to this feeling our emotions and allow the rebirth to happen. We have to go back through and heal our past. All right. The emotions card is the third of the 8 influence cards and represents the influence that our feelings and emotions have upon our choices and decisions. So again, if we're being affected too much by our past, then we're being jaded. We're not seeing things, on both sides fully the way we try to embrace it as a Libra. We try and balance and we see both sides of everything. But if we're basing things off a jaded past or something that happened when we were kids, we have this different outlook. So when we cleanse that away and reintegrate those emotions that were suppressed, we take on a whole new perspective and we see things differently, and it opens our minds up. The positive feelings and emotions that have the most influence upon us are joy, love, gratitude, peace, serenity, hopefulness, inspiration, amusement, pride, awe, and curiosity. And then we also feel a wide range of negative emotions, with the primary examples being fear, anger, disgust, jealousy, sadness, regret, loss, and hate. Now, I end up seeing, I can actually feel energy from other people. So I don't know if you'd call me an empath or not, but I feel that coming through. And so a lot of times I try and reach out to people and help them deal with their emotions. And, if you're feeling it too, and you've been going through this too, because Libras are normally beautiful, we're normally very loving and giving and caring and happy and trying to share positivity. And so that gets tiring, especially when some people are taking that wrong. A lot of times they take it either as a weakness, or they end up getting jealous of us or angry with us because, like I've had somebody tell me one time that, everything seems to come together for me and I always have a positive outlook, and, when shit hit the fan, I was like, oh, no worries, the angels will be there for us, and don't worry, miracles will happen. And sure enough, they did. They actually got angry at me because I helped manifest good things for them. And so basically where I'm going with this is, when we end up getting all that negative energy towards us, we have to allow this rebirth. Honor the change. Let some of these people go. We can't help them all. We can try, and if they're not receptive to it, sometimes we have to just let them wallow in their misery until it's their time to release it. We can't do it for them. We have to do our own rebirth. So we have to own our own emotions. We got to go back and heal our past so that we're not jaded, and so we stop attracting that fear, that angry energy from people. It's the only way to do it. It's what I've been doing, and it's working, so I highly recommend it. Okay, so now our Myths and Mermaids cards. These are for clarifying cards. And this first one is Reaching for Sunset. And that kind of reminds me of Libras. We're always reaching for perfection. We're always trying to attain the best for everyone and the best for ourselves, and that perfect balance. So you are approaching the last legs of a long and tiring journey, one that cannot end soon enough to suit you. You are definitely ready for some closure. Fear not, although this difficult situation has drawn on for so long, there really is an end in sight. Once the dust is cleared, take some time to reflect on what you have been through and make peace with your struggles before starting something else. Remember that when one door closes, another opens, and you are definitely poised for a promising new beginning. Reach for that sunset and embrace the forthcoming dawn of the new day. So again, for the clarifying, it's telling us, allow the rebirth. do the mourning, cut the ties, cut out the shit that no longer serves us. Pardon my language, but we have to cut out the people and the things, the behaviors and whatnot that no longer serve us. And that's what I've been working on too this month is, some people who just exude negative energy no matter how much I try. I just had to cut some of them loose. I was like, enough. I don't care how long I've known you. You're not serving my higher purpose. Their goal is to create negative vibrations. So I'm like, bye. Nice knowing you. Take care. Blessings. All right, so this one is water elementals. Now this one is, lately you have had your share of ups and downs. There have been many instances of confusion and times when you have felt pulled in several directions at once. External stressors have been wreaking havoc. Everything from unpredictable weather to unstable relationships can have a big impact on our emotional outlook. Fear not, my friend, for it won't be long before your life and body regain their natural sense of harmony and balance. You may need to reevaluate the aspects of your life that are giving you the most trouble and try setting some appropriate boundaries. If someone is taking too much of your time and energy, it is all right to limit their presence and influence. Look to the near future and breathe a deep sigh of relief. Once again, you will feel calm, clear-headed, and motivated to live life to the fullest. So this ties in with the crone where it said, look shorter goals, short-term goals. Don't look so far into the future that, we're causing ourselves more stress. And if you're going through troubling relationships, the Teal Swan videos with how to heal the emotional body, and working on the core beliefs and resistance and whatnot, it actually, what I've seen is that, it's part of this whole holding up the mirror thing. So a lot of what's happening with Mercury retrograde and with what's happening with repeating things in our past, like sometimes it's relationships that it's a different person, but it ends up being almost the same problems. And, so it's just history repeating itself. And so basically what I actually just had that big aha moment recently was the whole holding up the mirror is not talking about, what we're doing right now and people are reflecting that. Because a lot of times we're like, hey, I don't do that shit. Like, where is this coming from? How is this holding up the mirror for me to look at myself? What it really is it's holding up the mirror for us to look at our past and what our core beliefs are and our core emotions are. So when we work on going and healing those, we can actually take a breather and relax and know that the people who aren't on the same wavelength as ours, they're not on the same vibration, it's either going to cause them to change naturally because we are no longer a vibrational match to that type of relationship anymore. So it's either going to cause that relationship to end or it's going to cause it to change. So either way, it's that death and rebirth that we need to go through and know that our positive end is in sight. So one way or another, it's going to come out better for us because when we get rid of the old relationships that no longer serve us, we make room for the new and the better and what's meant to be there for us. And you know that. You're a Libra. Hello. All right, so this card is the Enchanted Map Oracle. And I chose this for a path of guidance for us. And we got education. Woohoo! Don't we just love to learn? I think Libras, well, I know me, we're little book geeks and study geeks. We love education. Life is filled with lessons. Be teachable. Wisdom comes from participating in life, not just reading about it. This card suggests that you might not have enough knowledge about what you seek, the direction to take, your circumstances, or the nature of your inquiry. Important information is coming. Now is the time to go to school, ask a person who might know more than you do, or find a teacher or a course of study so that you can more clearly understand what the next right action must be. Sometimes life unexpectedly sends you to an unfamiliar school and you must learn by experience. Now is the time to be teachable, open to changing your preconceived notions. Be a student and be willing to state the most powerful mantra of all, I don't know yet. So So we don't know what the future holds yet. And so if we learn from our past, we go and do all the healing, we're going to have some rockin' futures here. Now, our angel blessing card from Archangel Michael is, your children are watched over by angels. Archangel Michael wants you to know that he's, now this card, really quick, I'm sorry, but this card actually popped out twice. When I first started shuffling, it popped out immediately, and I thought, well, that's too soon. Let me reshuffle and keep shuffling and make sure that, you know, the card that's meant to be there is there. And I shuffled and shuffled, and then it popped back out again all by itself. So the angels are definitely here with us. So Archangel Michael wants you to know that he's paying particular attention to your children. He's guiding them to stay safe, develop their spiritual gifts, and discover and follow their divine life purpose. Michael is also ensuring that their peers are trustworthy and good influences. Other possible specific meanings: your life's purpose involves children, a healthy pregnancy and birth is ensured, an adoption will be successful, spend time with indigo and crystal children, take care of your inner child by playing and having fun, a child in heaven is happy and sending you love, your children are okay, give worries about your children to God and the angels. Prayer: dear guardian angels of my children, born and unborn, thank you for watching over my children and ensuring their happiness and safety. Please guide me so that I know the best ways to be a good parent and role model for my own and other people's children. Really quick, another thing about some of those Teal Swan videos is she actually teaches you how to stop worrying so much, how to release resistance, because when we resist, what you resist persists. So if you're sitting there worried and you're thinking the worst, like, and praying, oh God, please don't let such and such happen, and your fear is coming out, you're actually going to manifest that. So you need to watch how you're talking and how you're praying and put it in the positive. You want them to be protected, right? So instead of saying, don't let such and such happen, you want to say what you do want to happen. You want them to be happy and healthy and safe. So don't put it in the negative, and don't think of the negative. So if you are praying or you are talking to God or you are manifesting, then make sure you put it in the positive. After I watched a bunch of those Teal Swan videos, I was literally like smacking my head and saying, oh my gosh, like I wish I had known this stuff when my child was little, because I would have done things differently. So I think this card is a message to let you know, like, your kids are okay. They're being watched over and protected. But this is also a reminder that we need to go do the work so that we can be better parents. And we can make sure that our children are on the right path and the right course. You know, I mean, I can imagine all the things my kid has messed up in his head because I did so many things the opposite of what I wanted to do, not realizing that I was doing it wrong. You know, and not necessarily wrong, but just not the best. So I feel like those videos, you know, had I had known the things that I know now, I could have been a much better parent for him and served him in a much higher purpose. So that's my little tidbit advice on parenting. You know, I used to try to be the best parent I could, and I did the best I could, but that's still no excuse. You know, now you have the knowledge, you've been advised. Go watch those videos. If you're worried about your kids, you're worried about being a good parent, then those are something I highly recommend doing, because by you healing your past, you're going to be a new and improved version of you, and you won't recognize yourself in a couple months after doing it. You're going to be amazed at the results of yourself. And I don't mean to be preaching Teal Swan, but after 20 years of searching for, you know, the proper, or not proper, but the best way to help heal myself, these videos, it's like, oh my God, it's that aha, I finally found it. So I highly recommend that. Okay, so now this last card that we have is renewal, and this is for our meditation. So the angels said this is what they wanted us to meditate on for the next 30 days. Vesta, known as Hestia in Greek mythology, was the sister of Zeus, goddess of the hearth and keeper of the sacred flame. Vesta influences both Virgo and Scorpio. Vesta governs your ability to focus on the task at hand, mental clarity, dedication, self-respect, goal achievement, and sexual freedom. Vesta is the asteroid of renewal, restoration, and revitalization. She governs physical, mental, and spiritual rebirth and will help you find your life purpose. She symbolizes your true essence, the pure, perfect you. Channeling Vesta energy into the third eye will aid clear thinking. Vesta energy is the crown, will help direct you towards your life purpose. If you feel stuck in a situation, unhappy with your life, or are moving in a direction you do not wish to go, Vesta tells you that rebirth can begin. This totally ties in. Hello. Rebirth can begin, but the choice is up to you. It is time for renewal, and you need to take the necessary action to bring closure to your current situation. For instance, you cannot cling to an old lover while you wait for the new. Nor can you stay in a negative, unproductive environment. You need to clear your space of the old in order to make room for the new and improved. Possible additional meanings. A new beginning is just around the corner. The situation you are inquiring about will come to an end. Ask for divine help in letting go of the old. Chant. A new job that I love comes to me with ease. Chant. I have faith in the universe. Chant. I am in charge of my life. All right. I think that's some pretty powerful stuff for you guys to go work on for the next 30 days, Libra. I think, we are all going through a lot of changes, and it's not just the Libras. It's all the signs of the zodiac. So we're not alone. We're just experiencing things differently than most of the other signs on a lot of levels, and similar on other levels as well. So I hope you guys got something good out of this. I hope it helps. And if you have any questions or comments, I'm more than happy to help in any way I can. I do have a website that I have a blog on. The link is below, where I always post things that I think can help people. And I'm always open to help. So if you have any questions or need additional clarifying or a personal reading, please reach out to me. I promise I won't continue lecturing you on Teal Swan. If this video resonated with you, please give me a like and a thumbs up. And I will look forward to seeing you guys next time. Please subscribe if you liked it, and I'll look forward to seeing you again. Blessings, namaste, and ciao. See you soon.